We've got some live images coming in from Hong Kong. So you can see here emergency services vehicles coming in to attend to people who have been impacted by tear gas. The situation is being described by those on the ground as fast and fluid. You've got tear gas floating through the air. You've got people trying to leave the area, others coming into the area as they knock off work. Lots of masks to cover people's faces from the tear gas, and there's also been high-pressure water hoses. No major injuries so far, but you get a sense at the moment, Rowan, that things are really on the verge of blowing up there. This is all over these extradition proposals, this extradition bill that would allow people to be sent to mainland China from Hong Kong under certain circumstances, and so you can understand why they're not all that keen on that scenario.
You can't imagine anything scarier if you're a Hong Kong resident, the idea that you could be shipped off to mainland China for, you know, on whatever trumped-up charges, because once you're out of Hong Kong, you really have nothing. You know, China is a totalitarian state. It's a very scary place. We're halfway through the biggest gamble in history, which is when Britain handed over Hong Kong back to China. There was a 50-year period, and the Brits were kind of gambling that, like the Berlin Wall, China's communism would kind of disintegrate during that 50-year period. But we're halfway there and it ain't happened. We're going to see a lot more of this. Yeah,
we've seen it before, right? I know a few years ago this blew up in Hong Kong as well, Richo, and we saw all the umbrellas out and the protests out. Look, the eyes of the world are watching, so there is some protection, I suppose, in regards to what's happening there, but that is the difference between what happens in Hong Kong and what happens in China. At least there's some transparency about what's going on.
But it's tragic because, you know, this is my favourite city in the world outside of Sydney. I think it's a fabulous place. And to see it undergoing this kind of drama, I'm really saddened. I always saw it as a place different to China. And so did everyone in Hong Kong who lived there. It was different to China. And vive la différence, didn't somebody once say. And I'm really concerned that, that this is going to worsen. It won't get better, it'll get worse. They'll clamp down more. I think the freedoms that Hong Kong people thought they had are being torn away right before our eyes. You're just watching it.
There are some of the images that were recorded in the last couple of hours, some of the worst of it. It's calmed a little bit, and some are speculating that maybe things are returning to normal slightly. Others are suggesting that they're only about to gear up because people are knocking off work, more are coming into those congested areas, and there are some saying we're not going to go, we're going to stay throughout the night. There's the live images at the moment. The police warning people to leave the area, but the protesters just don't want to go. So we'll stay with that and we'll keep you updated on all the events from Hong Kong as police there try and keep a hold of the situation and the protesters try and cause as much chaos as they can so that we're watching on.